Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Ref the District, episode 96. 96 is where we're at. Just double checking there. Even though I created the graphic, I always forget the number, and I literally keep that number on there to remind me what episode this is. I'm Nathan. That's the stoner correcting me on the thing, and Trev is coming in right down to the wire. Coming in hot. Of course, we're live every Wednesday on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at 7:30 in the evening. And then you can catch us live, or you can catch us on your favorite audio platforms afterwards. And we are sponsored by a couple of great organizations. By a couple, I actually mean a few, because we have three sponsors. One of those being Skybar, which is where you'll find Trev in person. And he's also given us a nice swag bag for our season of giving. More on that later. Pacers running a Manscaped. You'll hear from in a little bit as well. It is Victory Week. I'm just going to celebrate all week. And of course, we got the Falcons coming up, which is a game that Washington needs to win. We'll be talking about that during the game. And post game, we'll be providing you our game predictions with our dollars as always. Here in the warm-up, we're going to be talking about our last thoughts on the game there against the Houston Texans. And what do we think about Chase Young coming back? All that and more here in the warm-ups. Give a shout-out to those who are already in the chat. We got Yam in the house, Gus Bus, my mom who's traveling around right now, making some last-minute Thanksgiving groceries runs and things like that. Michael is here, Al Catone as well. Appreciate you all coming in here. Yes, absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours as well. We'll probably later, at the in the cool down, do some thanks that we want to do there. But first, we got to talk about this game against Houston. Last thoughts. Trev, hit us with your last thoughts.
Defense balled out. Offense got to step it up.
There you go. Trev's just like, I ain't got nothing to say, man. That's it. For 2 sentences.
That's good. That's what we need. And I mean, it's precise too, Trev. You're absolutely right. This is an offense that I really feel has been letting the defense down. Even though we're continuing to win games, this offense, is literally just saying, hey, defense, you're going to have to carry us because we're not really a part of this team right now.
Unfair.
And, it might be unfair, but I mean, Stoner, tell me, what's their point per game? Where did they rank in the NFL on points per game?
They're 23rd in points per game at 19.5 points per game. I only take umbrage with the words that they're letting the defense down.
I'm taking.
I don't believe they're doing that.
With the word umbrage. What is umbrage?
I got a problem.
Oh, okay.
I got an issue.
Okay.
I got a craw.
Okay.
I mean, do they need to be better? Of course. But they're not letting the defense down. It's not like the Jets offense letting their defense down and not admitting to it. Because this team went out to a 20-0 lead at halftime. It's not like at halftime it was 3-0 or 6-0. They scored 20 points. Now the defense scored 7 of those.
They scored. Well, they technically score 6, right? But I mean, that's now I'm getting
the offense. The offense scored enough in the first half that they didn't have to do anything in the second half, and they still would have won the game, even if they didn't have the defensive touchdown. Right? They scored 13 on their own in the first half, and the Texans only scored 10.
Yeah. So
they're not letting them down. They need to pick it up, like Trev said. They need to be better, like Nathan said, but I don't think they're to the point where they're letting them down. It could happen. And it has happened in the past in some of the other games, but not during this.
Indianapolis and a couple of these games that we've lost, even Minnesota, where we're just like, hey, offense just needs to do one more thing, and they put that game away. And instead they lost. But I guess I can understand it a little bit, Stoner. I mean, when you're looking at maybe like a team like the Denver Broncos, the Denver Broncos have like this insane stat going on right now where if they had scored 19 points, they would be 8-1 right now.
Yeah.
So that defense is absolutely doing its job. The offense is not.
That's letting them down.
Washington has at least kind of done their part for a few of these games to stay in there. But yeah, just an insane stat out there in Denver with a quarterback a lot of people wanted here. The other insane thing with Denver is there's another thing going on where it's just like, has Russell Wilson thrown more touchdown passes than he has toilets in his mansion? He has not hit that number, by the way. And we're in like week 11. So a lot of fun things going over there. And you mentioned the Jets, because I think we're ready to put down the Houston game. Any other thoughts on the Houston game?
No. It was an ass whooping, and it was it was kind of a boring game, but no, they beat them down. Yeah. Good to go.
It was a much needed victory like that, though, right? Mm-hmm. It was a victory Washington needed to where that they could, absolutely demolish somebody, and they ended up doing that. We've been trashing Denver and their situation. You brought up the Jets. And I had this, I was reading about how they just benched their second overall pick from last year, and it got me thinking. And so I'm going to ask you guys here, and we'll probably put this up for like a community poll later. But what would you rather have? Would you rather be the Jets, who used a third overall pick on Sam Darnold, and he flamed out after a few years, and then now you got Zach Wilson as the number 2 overall pick, and you're benching him in his sophomore season? Or would you want what we have in Washington, which is just a QB carousel of just name after name after name, and now we've landed on Taylor Heinicke? Which one would you rather have as an organization? Maybe the chance to get your franchise QB, or just running with the Trent Dilfers of the world?
Yeah, he had the Super Bowl.
That's why I brought him up as an example there, because eventually maybe that roulette lands you on somebody who's who's winning games.
Give me the Zach Wilson, Sam Darnold situation, because also, I know it's hypothetical, but I think have more to offer as far as weapons on both sides of the ball that could probably help Sam Darnold or Zach Wilson. The Jets really didn't. So I guess that's kind of why it is there. But yeah, I'd definitely take, because you know what you have, or at least you know what you're going after. You sought him out all off season. You watched his college tape. You know his ups and downs. This guy, you just look off of all the film from different teams, and he's been out of the league for a little bit, then he's back in the league. These are fresh young prospects that are coming in ready to be molded however you see fit, rather than bringing somebody who's been around the league for 8 or 9 years, 7 different teams on his sister's couch. Yeah, that's my opinion.
I think you already, if you have the Taylor Heinicke type, or the this quarterback carousel, you kind of already know what they can do, what their peak level is.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Zach Wilsons and the Sam Darnolds, you don't know. The potential is there. The opportunity to grow is there. It might not work, but at least they have a higher ceiling. What Taylor Heinicke is. He can only take this team so far.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Wilson may be able to take a team way higher. Now, he may not either, but the potential is there. So you'd always want that potential of a young quarterback over a retread that you already know kind of what the ceiling is. So I'd rather have the Jets situation of drafting a new guy every couple of years, but both situations are certainly not ideal.
No, they're not.
Yeah, neither one good. And we've talked about this a little bit before, where it's like, if you draft the wrong QB, that sets you back, 2 to 3 years.
That's exactly what happened when the whole issue with, not saying anything ill of those who have passed, but with Dwayne Haskins. And the reason they didn't draft a quarterback in 2020 and they drafted Chase Young is because they were hoping that Dwayne Haskins would develop, and he didn't. And so where we are 2 years later, next year will be 3 years, we're just sitting there still trying to find that quarterback. Whereas we could have had Tua, we could have had Herbert or whatever, if we didn't have that situation of drafting a quarterback that you were waiting to develop and never did. And so, yeah, that one draft pick has set this team back for a few years now. and it kind of sucks to have to deal with that year after year after year after year.
Yep, I agree.
I guess I definitely see your guys' point. And you have maybe like the Josh Allens who didn't look all that great, first couple seasons, and then had an explosive year 3. And so sometimes there is merit to kind of sticking with those draft picks. But I mean, one thing I'll say to close it out from my perspective, and then have you guys do any last minute thoughts on this, is I think that teams need to stop being so committed to the QBs. If you know that you have a pass rusher or a cornerback who is just bad, or a wide receiver who's just not getting it, you draft more of them, right? Now, there's potentially more pro level wide receivers or defensive players than there are QBs. There's only so many QBs that are actually NFL caliber. But I think we've seen this a little bit with Sam Darnold being moved on from the Jets. Like, they tried it. He wasn't happening. They traded it away to pick up Zach Wilson. You saw Rosen get dumped for Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
We need to see more of that going forward in the future, where it's just like, hey, we've had this guy on our roster for a year and we know who he is, and let's try to get somebody else. At worst case scenario, you end up having a valuable backup or a piece that someone else is like, hey, you know what? I can maybe do something with that. I mean, Sam Darnold was traded for actual assets, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not something that I feel like you need to be afraid to do. Make those picks, make those Zach Wilsons and Sam Darnold picks, and hopes that they do turn out. But then you don't have to ride them for 2 to 3 years. You literally just, if you have the staff on board who can tell you, hey, this guy's not getting it, let's try to find somebody else, then find somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of merit to what the way the NFL is kind of changing. This is, I've said it before, and I don't know that everybody agrees, but it's really no longer a quarterback driven league. Okay, we're past that 5 years ago when you had 15 elite quarterbacks, close to 15 elite quarterbacks. There's like 5 or 6.
I want to challenge you on that number, but I don't have time tonight to do that.
Yeah.
So
there.
We'll give you a homework assignment for that number.
But I mean, now there might be 5 or 6. And look at the teams that are winning right now. The teams that are leading their divisions or in the playoffs. They don't have, not all of them, but most of them don't have elite quarterbacks anymore. They're getting back to making sure that they run the ball, they stop the run, they don't turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
But they are going to, at some point, their quarterback is going to have to step up and make plays and win games, especially when you get to the playoffs. But you've got teams like the Giants who are up there. We know their quarterback is not that great, but they're winning in other ways. Mm-hmm. But they showed last week, if you stop Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones can throw the ball around, but he's not going to make the big plays to help your team win. Look at Seattle with Geno Smith at the helm. They're leading their division. Look at San Francisco with Jimmy G.
Minnesota Vikings with Kirk Cousins.
Right. And they're running the ball, right? And
look at the Washington Commanders. They're the way we're winning. I mean, it's Taylor Heinicke. And yes, we believe in him. We're going to trust in him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's running the ball.
Look at Tennessee. Tennessee's like 7-3 now, I believe, is their record, something like that. And we left them for dead, but they're running the ball and they're asking Tannehill not to make mistakes, and they're stopping the run. So those are what teams are doing now to win. Now, when it gets to playoff time, the quarterbacks are going to need to make plays. And we've seen that with Tennessee in the past. Tannehill's not been able to make the plays in the playoffs. That's where the Josh Allens, the Joe Burrows, the Patrick Mahomes, that's where they start stepping up and taking your teams further along. But right now, you don't need that to get to the dance. But we'll see what happens once you get there.
It will be interesting to see how all of that plays out. I didn't see a lot of responses into it. Like I said, we might get that one up as like a community poll sometime later this week to see what people said as far as which situation would you want. The Jets situation of spending a third and then a second and going 6 years, not really having a QB, or being Washington and doing that QB carousel. Still very interested in hearing what you have to say about that. But now I want to hear what these two have to say about Chase Young likely returning back to this defensive unit. Guys, I'm hearing a lot of chatter right now about how he might not fit in well and how he's going to disrupt this defense. Trev, do you think that there's a lot of merit to that? Do you think that Chase Young is going to ruin this defense that's been playing outstanding these last few weeks?
No, I think because he's going to be on the pitch count, so he's not going to have a chance to ruin this defense. It's just like us putting in Ridgeway or Daniel Wise or Efe Obada in rotation or Tuhill. That's all he's become, is rotational guy right now. It's not going to disrupt anything. He's not going to come in with the mindset of I'm going to wreck the game. He knows that. He loves football and loves the game too much to do that, and knows how serious his injury was to do that. The kid loves to play football. Let the kid play football. Put him on a pitch count and let's rock. We'll be fine.
Let me ask you, Trev, do you think that Chase Young was part of the problem on this defense before he got hurt? You've heard that. You've heard that he was playing undisciplined football.
Yeah, he was part of that undisciplined problem.
Mm-hmm.
He was a contributing factor because all of them were doing it. All of them wanted to be individual. All of them wanted to rush their own kind of way. And then when they said form as a team, you see what's going on. I mean, most of our defensive line pressure is coming from the inside anyway. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. Yeah, Montez Sweat every now and then. He's had a really good year. And yeah, a little bit James Williams. But most of it's coming from the inside anyway. So I think, yes, to answer your question, he was part of the problem, but not the sole reason. It was the whole defensive line. Montez Sweat was a no-show last year. We were all talking about Deron Payne's gone because, now he's having like a Jonathan Allen type year right now. So he'll be fine.
I think what you hope, I think what you hope is that being away from the game and seeing the defensive line this year flourish, playing disciplined brand of football, and how if he sticks with that maybe that did spark something in the back of his mind that says, if I can do it, or if I do those sorts of disciplined rushes and disciplined play, then I'll still be rewarded. Whereas before it may be just a thing where I've got to do what I've got to do to get rewarded, to get paid.
Like college mentality, because he was the only one pretty much known on Ohio State's defense at that time was Chase Young. And then like when Bosa was there, it was nothing but the Bosa guy, nobody else on that defensive line. So in college, it was just him. He drove the force of the line, so he brought that with him to the league, and it was like, oh, wait a minute. That's Jonathan Allen. Maybe if I do this, he does that. We can do that together. So maybe like you said.
Yeah, I think a lot of it when you're talking about from the college level to the pro level, the level of talent he's going up against, where he knows he can freelance and beat somebody and it'd be okay. Well, the level of talent in the NFL, you're not going to be able to get away with that as often. And I saw the comment there from Michael. This is why Sam Mills is gone, right? So I don't think it's any surprise that this defensive line has been playing better with Sam Mills gone. And it's not to disparage Sam Mills and what he brought, but the message was clear that this unit is underperforming and they needed to do something different. And they are working together. You're seeing, one of the sacks from Sunday was this crazy one where it was kind of a little bit of a stunt as Montez Sweat had to go behind and Jonathan Allen's just bulldozing past two people, and then Sweat bounced back in and was able to find that clean pocket, and coverage did their part to be able to make that sack happen. And now that this team's doing that way, I agree with you, Stoner. I feel like he's watched it have some success and that he's going to come back. He's going to be on a pitch count and he is going to look to do something disruptive because we've seen him be disruptive, but he's going to be working within the team, confines of the team unit and be able to be successful there. So I don't think that's going to be, I can't believe I hear people say that, like, oh, because, and I think Stoner, you might have alluded this to as well, right? Losing William Jackson, who is a talented cornerback, has actually benefited Washington with him off. The team has just been performing better. An addition by subtraction, and you can't really make sense with it. And people are like, well, now if you add in and Chase Young, and it's going to disrupt, and it's going to be like William Jackson. They're just going to play worse. And I just don't buy it with the level of talent that Chase Young brings.
They should treat this game as a preseason game for Chase Young. Get him in there in 10 to 15 plays and get him out. This is his first real live action if he plays Sunday since he went out a year and a half ago. So I don't think he really has a chance of disrupting anything. If he does, the man hasn't played in a year and a half. So just put him on a pitch count. That way, if he does, the mistakes won't be as bad as if he was like a 50, 60.
You know how much this defense will lose their minds if he ends up getting a sack?
Good.
They're going to Chase Young is, I think, a lot like Taylor Heinicke when it comes to that locker room personality. I think that guys just genuinely like him.
I agree.
And it's a lot because of who he is, not just as for Chase Young as an excellent player, but it's also because he's always there. He's always talking you up. He's always, being supportive of the team. And so I think the guys like playing with him. So if he gets a sack, even if he's on a 15 snap pitch count, which, spoiler alert, I think that might be too high. So if he gets a sack within those, the defense is just going to absolutely lose their minds and rally behind that.
I'll be honest, though, watching a lot of the clips that are coming out for the last week and even today, just today while he was at practice, and you only see him doing drills. You don't see him in practice because they don't allow the media to film or even be there at the actual practice. I don't see a burst right now. Now that makes sense, right? It makes sense that he doesn't have that, being a year removed from reconstruction of his knee, but it's still, let's not get carried away when over the next 3 games, he plays a total of 35 plays and doesn't even show up on the stat sheet with even assisted tackle or anything. We just gotta kind of temper our expectations for at least a few weeks, because I don't like what I'm seeing when he's out there at practice. And again, it's a 1 or 2 clips. That's all I can judge it on.
That's why I say, pitch count. Treat it like a preseason game. The man hasn't played real ball in a year and a half. He's been going up against the same guys for a year and a half in practice when he can.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of that is there's a difference between game speed and practice speed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Speed, right. So we're gonna see something. A lot of differences. We'll see how it goes. Maybe this can be $1, but what do you guys want to give him for a pitch count? I said 15's too high, so I'm going to take the under on 15 snaps.
I'll probably go over that.
I'll say 12.
You know what? I'll actually be honest. I'm going to go under, and I'm going to go with he's not even going to play. I don't even think he's going to play this game. I don't think he's playing the next 2 weeks. I'll be perfectly honest. I think he comes back after the bye.
After the bye?
Yeah. I mean, he has to be active. He is activated. He's on the roster. Yeah. But he might even be one of the
healthy scratch.
Like a healthy scratch. He might even be that for the next couple of weeks. I'll be honest.
Honestly,
yeah. So he may not even be, he may be one of the 5 or 6 guys who don't even dress.
Yeah, I think it was Gus Bus here, saying Chase isn't going to play at the Giants because of the turf. After the bye, the rest of our games on grass. So kind of like what you're saying there, Stoner, let him sit, still getting there with the practice, doesn't play this game against Atlanta, doesn't play with the Giants, but gets back in after the bye week. That's 3 more weeks of kind of getting back in there and getting that conditioning, which is something Coach Rivera has talked about, is that we got to see where he is at conditioning wise. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. To answer Sean's question, what's in that cup? Just a little juice. That's all. Just a little Baltimore juice that I'm partaking in. Let's go ahead and move on while we're here, unless you guys had any final thoughts to give on the Chase Young situation. But I want to get this moving because I want to talk about this game against Atlanta. Lots of things happening here on Ref the District.
The game is brought to you by Pacers Running Stores. Pacers has 5 stores in Northern Virginia and DC. For the best running footwear, apparel, and gear, just stop by or schedule a virtual fitting with the best running experts in the business. Pacers Running exists to help as many people as possible through running. For every run, it's Pacers Running.
Pacers Running also giving us a donation for the Fisher House. You can get yourself a $140 gift card. That's going to be one pair of shoes, all by donating to the Fisher House. We'll be given more information on that later. This Atlanta game is a must win. This is it's kind of, when you're talking about this, like they're still in the playoff hunt and there's still lots of football to be played. But realistically, this game is a must win because if they lose to the Falcons will leapfrog them in the standings for that wild card and essentially have a 2-game lead on them because you lose the tiebreaker. And so you have to have more games. Now, that being said, if Washington wins, they have that much more of an advantage against the Falcons. And the Falcons are still in play, at least for the horrible NFC South division. NFC East is a beast.
Is this the biggest game of the Ron Rivera era here in Washington? No. Can you think of a bigger game?
Non-playoff game, I'm assuming.
Well, non-playoff game.
Yeah.
Right. Is this the biggest regular season game of his tenure? Because this is the first time at this point of the year that the team has been over 500, right? So they've been 500, but I don't know if they have not been over 500 this late in the season in his regimes. So can you name me a bigger game? I mean, that Philadelphia game 2 years ago that they had to win to get to win the NFC East at 7-9, right? They were 6-9 and they had to beat Philly on that last game to win. I mean, that was a pretty big game, but this game right here, it is. Like you said, if they lose, then they're 6-6. Atlanta's 6-6, and they own the tiebreaker. You still got San Francisco ahead of you. You still got teams. Look out. Detroit's right behind you. You're still trying to catch the Giants, still trying to catch the Cowboys. You're still trying to catch the 49ers, all these teams. I just think this is probably the biggest game, regular season game of his era, of his coaching time here.
Trev, what do you think? Because we got a couple people. We got Sean and Michael saying no. Gus Bus saying no way. We can still lose the Falcons and have a season to play for.
Oh yeah, we still have a season to play for. But I'm just saying,
and that's when I said that it's a must win. Like there are still plenty of games left to win, but this one right here, I think, holds a lot of importance when it comes to the wild card race because you have to imagine they're not likely to catch either Philadelphia or the Cowboys in the division. They're not that far back, realistically with as many games they have, but a lot of things have to go right. This is one that they're in direct competition with the Falcons for a wild card. And it's a must win. Now, whether or not it's the biggest, Sean's saying Philly 2 years ago was the biggest game. That was to win the division.
Right. And yeah, I get that, but that you were 6-9 at the time when you were playing Philly. And yes, it was a big game.
Wins the division and gets you into the playoffs. Isn't that bigger?
During a COVID year, while battling cancer, that's probably the biggest game, I think, of the Ron Rivera era.
Okay. I could probably be convinced of that. But it's certainly the biggest game of this year.
This is the biggest game of this year.
But if we win, the Giants next week will be the biggest game this year.
Absolutely, it will. And if you lose, it'll be even bigger.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have to win that game.
So yes, this is a big game this year, but not the biggest. I think the division championship COVID year, cancer year was the biggest.
Okay. I can live with that for now. Okay. I was just curious what you guys thought about that.
I agree. It is a big game. It is a must win, but you're right, Trev. Every game is a must win here. EP in the house.
In his house.
Literally in the house. She's upstairs. I'm pretty sure I can hear her. She's going to be doing a lot of Thanksgiving prep, so I'm going to have to make sure we're on time and target here today, gentlemen. All right. So the Falcons, I see some people saying the Falcons do not worry them. Is there anything, Trevor, that worries you that the Falcons bring to the table?
Two things: a mobile quarterback and Cordell Patterson. I'm not saying Marcus Mariota is a world beater on the ground, but he came out of college with that trait. He's a mobile quarterback. We've seen it. He can do just enough. I mean, we see what Taylor Heinicke does just enough sometimes for mobility. Carson Wentz has done that with mobility just enough. We're not saying it's a huge threat, but he can do just enough. And then Cordell Patterson. He just broke the record for kickoff returns. Our special teams have been pretty decent lately, but we haven't been kicking the Cordell Patterson. We've been kicking the fifth-string cornerbacks and fifth-string wide receivers. So that scares me because before this win streak we've been going on, our special teams was kind of poopy. We weren't really covering downfield like we normally do. So those are the two biggest fears. If we can contain Mariota and can contain Cordell Patterson, we should be just fine.
Trev, before I go to Stoner on there, how many yards on the season do you think Mariota has rushing?
127.
Wow,
way
that's
more than that.
Way more than that. For if you think
the way you asked, I figured it was going to be lower than I really thought it was.
No, I'm just curious because you're telling me he's an elite rusher, so I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, he must think that he's rushing for like 700 yards or something like this.
But see, when the way you asked, I wanted to be like 300, 400, but the way you asked, I was like, it's probably like lower than that.
Go ahead and give me the number you originally were thinking.
362 yards.
362. Okay, and it's really damn close.
I'm not looking at anything.
What would be his best rushing game? Like how many yards did he get?
Can you tell me who he played?
The Saints, week 1.
He had about 80 yards rushing that game.
He had a bomb game that game.
Pretty close. So he has 372 yards rushing on the year. You were 10 off. If this was Price is Right, I don't imagine anybody beats you.
No.
And then he had 72 yards rushing in that game. He's had a couple other good ones. One against Tampa Bay, 7 rushes for 61 yards, 6 rushes for 50 yards against San Francisco. So yeah, there's a light rushing attack that from him, or mobility that could potentially worry us. I'm not too worried about that, given the fact that Jamin Davis has absolutely come alive. Bostic playing the run has been doing well. You got Defoe, Cam Curl, and by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but Percy Butler has been playing defense. They've had 4 safeties out. I think it was like nearly 22 snaps.
Shout out Percy Butler.
And Bobby McCain playing in the slot.
I'm not too worried about the rushing attack from Mariota. Cordell Patterson does worry me. Stoner, who if it's not Cordell Patterson, is there anybody else out there from the Falcons that is a little bit, making you shake in your boots?
Yeah, I'll give you $1 if you can name me who leads Atlanta in rushing without looking. I see
without looking. I mean, I already had it up, so I can't.
Patterson?
He does not.
He does not.
Who is it? Mariota?
No.
It is a guy named Algier.
Oh, the running back?
So here's the problem with Atlanta. Atlanta is what every team who doesn't have a good quarterback wants to be on offense. They run the S out of the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. They run the damn ball. How's that? I did it better that time?
A little bit better.
Okay. They're 3rd in the league in rushing. Okay. They rush for 159 yards a game. They have 4 guys, 4 who have gained more than 335 yards rushing. 4 guys on their squad, which one of them, of course, is Mariota. Okay. They have a potent rushing attack. Now, Washington's defense is 6th against the run. Okay. Yeah. They only give up 103 yards. Something's got to give here, right? Yeah. Either we're going to stop them, or that's what they're going to do is they're going to pound the ball, and Mariota's just going to go out there and throw just enough passes to make it happen. So there's going to be a lot of running in this game.
See that, and that's when I say like I don't fear Mariota with his rushing. I just fear when it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9. And we got him dead to rights, and he escapes the pocket and runs for 12, 20 yards.
It's gonna happen.
That's what I fear, because it happens all the time.
So their strength is running the ball. Our strength is stopping the run. Okay, they're terrible on defense in every asset. aspect of their defense, especially against the pass. They're 29th.
And that doesn't mean anything because we're our own worst enemy on offense.
But we can't throw the ball. We don't have a great offense. So that's I think it's going to be a really low scoring game. There's going to be a lot of runs. That clock is just going to go.
The clock is definitely going to be ticking quite a bit here. As I don't think they trust either QB to air it out. On the rushing side, as far as this is a test that Washington is very familiar with. The Eagles game was one where they had a potent rushing attack, and Washington was able to stop it. Who's number one? Stoney, you probably know who's number one
in rushing.
I
would probably say the Giants, or it's going to be somebody like the Giants or Tennessee, or Atlanta. No, Atlanta's third. So it's going to be a team that's doing.
There's two teams better, and one of these teams who happens to be number one is a team Washington played. Trev, you want to take a guess?
We've already played them.
So We've already played them.
Tennessee.
Chicago Bears.
That was my next guess, was Chicago.
Now, a lot of that has come from these last few weeks. Washington just absolutely shut the doors on Justin Fields and the Bears. Yeah. And then after that game, something clicked because that offense has been just absolutely steamrolling defenses.
Justin Fields started running.
Yeah, and so
he was running.
It was running.
This is a test that Washington's passed time and time again. Do you think that they'll pass it this time, Trev?
Yeah, hell yeah. We're going to get punched in the mouth with like a 30, 40-yard run by Algier or Mariota, and we'll hunker down and shut down the run game and make Mariota be a pocket passer. We'll get it done.
Their passing offense, Trev, is 31st.
Exactly.
The second worst.
All right, who have they played real quick? I know it's probably off subject, but like I'm trying to look at defensive line. Who have they played so far?
They played the Rams and the Saints.
I'll bring that up right this second here. So they lost to the Saints 27-26 in the opening week. They lost to the Rams 31-27, then beat the Seahawks 27-23 and the Browns 23-20. Lost to the Buccaneers 21-15. 49ers, they won 28-14. Lost to the Bengals 35-17. Won against the Panthers 37-34. Chargers, they lost 20-17. Panthers, they lost 25-15 and just beat the Bears 27-24.
So we pretty much have, outside of the Rams in the early season, because that was week 2, so everybody was healthy. Outside of the Rams and maybe Buccaneers at the time they played them, we were probably the best defensive line they've faced or will have faced at this point.
49ers, did you mention them?
Oh yeah, them too.
49ers
beat them. So somebody was probably hurt for the 49ers.
Probably Bosa probably
any given Sunday.
Yeah, I know, but
I mean they had to play Tampa. Remember, they should have, what was it? They should have lost to Tampa. They had that bad. They were playing really well, and then they had where they tackled Brady, and then they called roughing the passer when it really wasn't a roughing the passer. Fair. And then they ended up holding on to the ball because I think that was third down. Tampa ended up holding the ball. Atlanta had all the momentum. They've had some games where they've beaten good teams and they've lost to bad teams. And it's kind of weird to figure out. But I don't think they play well outdoors. I think they need the dome.
And I don't think they're going to do well on the road either in this atmosphere we got coming Sunday. So,
but I mean, there's a good chance to beat Atlanta. They're not great. We're not great. They're not terrible. We're not terrible. It's just one of those games where you got two basically 500 teams punching each other in the mouth, trying to get that playoff position as we get down to the last month and a half of the season. So it's going to be a heck of a game. There's going to be a lot of running, I think, in this game.
Nathan.
Yes.
Last year we played them. We remember that infamous play. Taylor Heinicke is going crazy under distress, turns and fires across the daggone parking lot to find J.D. McKissick.
Yeah.
We don't have J.D. McKissick anymore.
You do have Gibson. You do have Samuel.
Who is going to be that X factor in this game if it comes down to something like that again, where we have to rely on somebody to step up and make a miraculous play
I think this is a game that you're going to see Antonio Gibson again just be a dominant factor to him. All right. So I think that he's easily going to surpass 100 yards from scrimmage. And he is going to be that person who's going to just eat up the space, the way that J.D. McKissick did in that last play. I'd like to see, Terry McLaurin ball it out. I'd like to see B-Rob ball it out and, the offense just have a good day. But as far as the X factor, especially when you're talking the offense, because you brought it up from a perspective of J.D. McKissick, Antonio Gibson's going to be that guy. Now, I love Curtis Samuel and what he brings to the table, but Antonio Gibson is going to be the one that this game, is the game is going to be on his back essentially, and Brian Robinson's to a certain extent as well. Whereas Curtis Samuel just does great things and great plays. So the X factor for me is going to be Antonio Gibson.
Stoner?
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's definitely going to be a running back. Again, we've been saying this for week after week. I just think they're going to rely on their two bell cows, Gibson and Robinson. They're just going to run the heck out of the ball as much as they can because they can't really stop the run. They're 21st against the run. They're 29th against the pass. They're the 30th ranked defense in the NFL. Now, that doesn't mean we're just going to score all over the place on them,
right?
But we're going to be able to move the ball. But you're going to be running the ball. We're going to be running the ball so much that the clock's just going to tick, tick, tick. You're just going to have less possessions in this game. And so you need to capitalize on that. You can't go on an 8-play drive and get bogged down at the 3-yard line and kick field goal. You've got to be able to punch it in, and that's where the Robinson and the Gibson and the Samuel come into play. I don't think you're going to see any big touchdown throws from Taylor. You're just going to see a lot of
75-yard bombs to De'Ami Brown coming this game.
Yeah.
I like the sitting in 4-1-4 with Sean Logan Thomas. I kind of see him as kind of being an X factor. He showed up big last game, crucial third down catches to keep the drive alive, even though we were running it. But we might, get stopped on the run on first and second down, and we would end up at a 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6. And, who's open? Logan Thomas, just to get us an 8-yard gain, a 9-yard gain, just to keep the drive going. That's a good X factor for me. But all three, I think, are Gibby, B-Rob, and Logan. I don't see much from McLaurin, De'Ami, Curtis vertically. I don't, like you said, I don't see him. This might be like a 4-target game for Terry, one of those kind of games. So
hopefully not. I'd love to see some more for him. I'm interested. And Stoner, you tend to have the stats there because you're talking about not, they're bad against the pass. What's their pass rush look like?
Their pass rush. Defensively, they're 29th against the pass and 27th in scoring. They give up almost 25 points a game. They've got Grady Jackson. He's got 5.5 sacks. Grady Jarrett, sorry. And he's got 5.5 sacks for them. He leads them in sacks. Their linebacker, Rashaan Evans, Alabama kid, right? 106 tackles already.
Wow.
Okay. So
Compton's back too, by the way.
Was that real or was that just a thing?
It's real.
Oh, okay. And then if you look at Washington, Cole Holcomb, who hasn't played, I believe, at least 2 straight weeks, 4 weeks in a row now, he still leads the team in tackles, and it's only 72, right? So this Rashaan Evans has 106. That's how. So he's a guy you're going to have to deal with, possibly even.
I'm not saying the young man is a bad linebacker, but tackles is one of the most overblown stats in the box score.
Get you to the Pro Bowl.
It will.
It does. It does.
Oh, it's way overvalued to that point. Absolutely. Now I'll say this: him being a linebacker, tackles I think has a little bit more.
Yeah, that's
when people are like this safety or this cornerback is got like 100 tackles. I'm like, that means that they were being targeted quite a bit.
Where he got burnt at the time,
and that's not a good thing. So with the linebacker, there's a little bit more context to it, but it is overblown. I thought if for him, if you're telling me he has, so many tackles for loss, now you're telling me I have a disruptive player that we're going to have to move the ball against, and that's something. If you're telling me he has 106 tackles, that tells me great that their defensive line is going to let Gibson and Brian Robinson get to him to make those tackles. So that to me seems like it might be actually a good thing here. Hall of Fame London Fletcher is on the ballot. Yeah.
Well, that's probably why he's not in, is because the tackles are a little bit overblown, right? Because he's got a gazillion tackles, but he's not in the Hall of Fame.
We're going to do a quick aside here. We all know how much I like the captain, so he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. He's won a Super Bowl. Yes, the tackle thing is a little overblown, but he is an Iron Man. That's not overblown.
That's right.
Staying healthy enough. The best ability is availability, and he was available and playing at high level for more than a decade.
16 years without missing a start.
Yeah,
that's insane for a linebacker.
It's amazing. Needs to be. Thank you for the quick aside. Needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Former ref the district guest too.
Former ref the district guest, and yes, Tommy T Pro Bowl is overrated as well. Especially now, it's more of a popularity contest than it is anything. You get guys voted into the Pro Bowl who played like 6 games, but because they're a big name, people are going to vote them in. It's why people are starting to put a little bit more stock into the NFL 100. But even that is more of a popularity contest with your buddies, and it's like going back to high school and doing the superlatives.
What are they called?
The word, and be like, hey, this person's going to be the most famous. Like, great,
those school spirited.
No one cares. And maybe I have a little bit of a bone to pick there, as I've moved around a lot, so I didn't exactly get the
I was going to say, did you not get a superlative?
I missed out on best actor to a guy who, well, I'm not going to disparage him.
That's after the whistle segment.
All I'm saying. All right, let's get back to the football here. We've talked a lot about what Washington's failed to do on offense.
Oh, Lord.
We also talk about, sometimes a get-right game. Can this be a get-right game for Washington's offense?
Yes, it can, simply because their defense is not good. So you got to take advantage of that.
Because we got a division game coming up next week. No matter the records, we all know how division games are. So this is a very, 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 very get-rightable game. Like Stoner just said, they're horrible in defense. There's no reason why. Now, with that being said, they just can't go by what paper says any given Sunday. Don't have that mindset as, they're ranked 30th and whatever. Oh, we got this. No. They're first in this. They're first in that.
Yeah. Remember when you had Minnesota's pass defense was like third worst or something like that?
They were fourth advantage
of it. And we threw a pick to lose the game.
Yeah.
Or horrible pass defense.
Or Houston's they had their rush defense was historically bad.
Yeah.
Okay. And now we did pretty well, but we didn't even meet their average given up yards.
No.
Right. And our yards per carry wasn't great. But we did enough in that game. But just saying that we haven't necessarily, the offense has not necessarily taken advantage of what the weaknesses of the opponent's defense has been. So they've got to do that. It's home. You're rolling. Chase Young is possibly back. Everybody's feeling good.
Blackout game.
You know what I mean? The vibe is good. Everything's good. So this is the opportunity for a get-right game for sure. For the
I hope the Falcons are wearing their red helmets with the black Falcon instead of black. It's going to be black on black helmets.
Yeah, I don't think they're allowed to, are they?
I don't think they can wear black. I'm pretty sure they're going to be in white because we will be in black. That is something I'm looking forward to. I will be there physically at the game with my family. So it should be hopefully a good time for us. We'll see how it goes. Let's go ahead and get in the score predictions here as I go ahead and bring up the, overwhelmingly out of 930 votes, 88% of you believe that the Commanders are going to win this one.
Yeah,
that's pretty heavy one-sided, but it was for Houston as well. I believe that was 91%, something like that. Thought Washington would win. So that scares me a little bit, but it won't affect my prediction.
Yeah, it's gonna be different. Lucid here says, I think with Pitts being out, this should be easier on our defense. Plus, Mariota is not an elite passer. And if our D-line plays good again, we could actually dominate this game. Offense has to be productive as well, though. Commanders 24-13.
Let's not forget one thing about Atlanta. Okay. Drake London's the real deal. Okay. He's not just some guy who was picked in the late rounds and is kind of succeeding out of nowhere. He was a top 10 pick, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It's number 8. Yes.
Yeah, he's a top 8 pick. He's having a fantastic year already. He's somebody they're going to have to deal with as well. So although Mariota just doesn't throw the ball that much and they don't want him throwing the ball, I believe last couple of games he's averaging like 19 passes a game. He's had games where he's thrown it like 13 times, 14 times. They just don't want him throwing the ball. But make no mistake, they have some weapons, but they don't have the quarterback necessarily to get them the ball. So I just be careful with trying to think that we're going to just completely shut them down.
You don't think this is going to be another Houston game?
No, because their offense is, I mean, they're scoring 23.5 points per game. Okay. Their offense scores way more than Washington's offense does. Now they don't do a whole lot in the passing game, and overall they don't have a whole lot of yards and all that, but they score. When they get in the red zone, they score because they have a really, really good running game. So as long as they get down there, just watch out. Be careful.
All right, let's go ahead and get in the scores. We got several already in the chat here. Sean's taking Washington 27-13. Joseph is 37-13 for Washington. Roger, we can smash them. 24.
Hey, Roger's coming around, isn't he?
Yeah, well, because what are they doing?
Running the ball.
Exactly. As long as they keep doing that, Roger is here for it. I mean, he still attacks some of the play calling, which is understandable. Some of that play calling is a little bit rough, but it does seem like this could be another game Washington walks away with. Trev, where you sitting on this one?
24-13. Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I didn't think you were going to go against the Dubs. This is a dub waiting for it. How about you, Stoner? What you got?
Yam had it 23-17 Washington, by the way. He just said that he posted it very early. So he had it 23-17. I love that score. I love 23-17. I'm going 23-17 as well. Atlanta.
What?
Yeah, I think
you think Heinicke underperforms and I did too, bro. I know.
One of these next two games, Heinicke is going to lose the game for Washington, and this might be the time.
Yeah, this is the perfect one to do it with. Because the staff is so bad.
It shouldn't happen. The vibe is good. Everything's rolling really well.
But this is what it does.
This is what happens. We all get way up here. We all are just like, yes, they should beat this team. Yes, they're better than this team. Yes, they're rolling. Yes, all this. Everything up here, they're due for a dud. They're just due for a dud right now. They didn't even have that big of a dud when they lost to Minnesota, right? They were right there. They had a 10-point lead. They should have basically at least had a chance to go down to tie the game late in the game, if not for the Ridgeway play on that field goal. But it just feels like it's due. They're due for a dud.
I mean, due for a Heinicke throwing everybody living his best life, getting T-shirts made. F at Terry's down there somewhere.
That T-shirt is amazing, and I need to cop that T-shirt. I'm so disappointed I didn't make that T-shirt. Okay, like I've been thinking of some ideas and some stuff. When I saw that T-shirt, I was like, "Dang, he beat me to it."
I will always, I hope I'm wrong, right? I don't try to be negative or a Debbie Downer like that, but I will always give you my honest opinion. Mm-hmm. And that's my honest opinion that the team is due for a dud. But I hope I'm wrong. I could totally be wrong. It doesn't feel like with the way they're playing right now that they should have a dud, but I've been burned too many times, and I think this is one of those games. Now, I feel like out of the next two games, they're going to lose one and win one. So if they do lose, I think they'll bounce back really well against the Giants.
Well, Stoner, you are alone on that one for this particular one here. And it's not that I have a lot of faith in Taylor Heinicke. You know, he is who he is. We are riding with him. We're all going to be a part of the Heinicke hive.
No, we're not, Nathan. No, we are not. He's just our quarterback.
He is our quarterback. He's our quarterback. You're going to ride with him, are you not?
No, I'm not. I'm riding with the defense.
You're riding with him.
And I'm riding with the special teams and everybody else. He just happens to be the quarterback of the team I ride with. But I'm not riding with him. Hell no.
I am. I don't care how much I dislike.
He's our QB. The team's rallying around him. The coaches are rallying around him. I'm getting with Trev in the fact that he's Trev. Again, Taylor Heinicke is who he is. I'm not saying he's the greatest quarterback. I'm saying he's our quarterback, and I'm riding with him.
Here's the thing. Here's my biggest pet peeve. It took us to go get Carson Wentz and to break his finger for the team to rally behind him because we love him. We had him for the past 2 years. So why did we even do what we did?
They went out and they went out and tried to get a new QB. That's why I'm saying, like, Trev, it's not about believing Heinicke's the franchise quarterback. It's about the fact that he is our quarterback and we're riding with him.
Well, y'all can ride on. I'm riding on a different.
All right, you can catch us up in the playoffs, my man. All right,
I'll be there with you on the defensive side of the ball. That's what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying. Stoner's trying to sit there and say this is going to be a letdown game, and Taylor's going to play like trash and all this. Here's the thing: I believe in this defense, and that's why they're going to win this game.
Bingo! That's why we've been winning.
Yeah, where we will be disappointed. And Stoner, you might be right. Taylor might lay a dud. But you know what? This defense is just playing so well right now. And Atlanta is not a team that I think is going to be the one that breaks them. Okay. Maybe they have problems with Saquon because he is an otherworldly talent. You know, Cordell Patterson's good. But if I'm putting them in tiers, Saquon and Cordell Patterson, there's probably a 2-tier gap there.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe if we do special teams, then Cordell Patterson's at the top, but we're talking as offensive playmakers. Saquon is a much better offensive playmaker. That's the game that I might have some particular worries with.
I ain't worried
this
about
game in Atlanta, nothing comes easy for Washington. Nothing comes easy. So I'm not trying to say this is going to be a lock to win, but I'm confident in this defense doing its part. And the offense, as long as they have Joey Sly making 58-yard field goals, then they should be okay.
Yeah. Good. I hope both of you are right. And I hope on Day After Reckoning on Monday, you guys can laugh at me and mock me and everybody can come in here and tell me I'm an idiot and all that. But
we won't do that.
I just don't like how everything is falling into the place so easily and that and everybody thinks we should win this game.
We are 0-2 in black uniforms too, by the way.
This is the one that breaks it. I haven't even given my score, by the way. I'm going to go with 24-9.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. I am going to mock you on Monday with the 9. I get it. I know where you're coming from with
Houston
the 9.
Scored 10.
I mean, yeah, Houston scored 10, and they are a pathetic, or the word I like to use, they are a horrific offense and poopy. And they scored 10 points. You don't think this offense, which is the 12th highest scoring offense, they average 23.5.
And that's the 12th highest.
That's
so do you happen to have all those stats handy or just Atlanta's real quick? Do you need me to bring this up here? Just
Atlanta's in Washington.
Okay, let me go ahead and I'm going to look up something then while I'm kind of talking here. And this is just to kind of, again, get us talking about this particular thing here. I'm really just vamping so someone else can save me a little bit here. I'm going to go points per game. And
so Washington's defense, as great as they are, they give up 20 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
So
but they do. You're right. So
they give up 20. Washington gives up 20.
And we can't
Atlanta scores 23.5, but somehow they're only going to get 9 in this game. That doesn't add up. But I mean, it happens. But I'm just saying it doesn't add up.
And the game I'm particularly looking at right now is the game of Dallas versus Minnesota. Minnesota had a better offense going into last week than Atlanta. Dallas, who does have a good defense,
great defense,
a great defense, shut them down. You don't think that Washington could do that against Mariota, Cordell Patterson, a rookie running back, a rookie wide receiver. I'm not saying it. I just think that this is again a game where the defense is going to show up, and that's what that's what I'm going for.
Yeah. No, I think they certainly can, obviously, but I just don't see it because of what they do well. They run the ball very, very well, and they score.
You said the same thing about Dameon Pierce, and I don't even know who that is anymore after last week. And we said the same thing about Philly, and I don't even know if it's Boobie Miles, Boston Scott, Corey Clement, Jalen Hurts. I don't know who's back there.
You're right. You're right. They shut down Minnesota. They shut down Dalvin Cook. They shut down, for the most part, Derrick Henry. They shut down Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in Green Bay. They shut down a lot of running games, and that's been very impressive. I just have a feeling about this that Atlanta's going to be able to run the ball, and they're going to control the clock. We're going to run the ball. We're going to control the clock. There's going to be like 5 possessions in the first half total, something to that effect. You know what I mean? And then it's going to go into the half. It's going to be like 10-7, and you're going to the second half, and anything can happen. So I don't know. I even think my 23 points for Atlanta is probably a little high.
That's way.
How they average that
for this game, right? Yeah, I'm just saying for this game, it's a little high.
We'll see how it goes. We are going to move into the cool down where we're going to give some game predictions, let you know what we're thankful for as well. Come here on the cool down.
The cool down is brought to you by Manscaped. Ever since my Nathan started using their products, I can't cool down. Fellas, trust me. Go to Manscaped right now and get 20% off and free shipping by using the code REF. Your ladies will appreciate you. Now back to Trev, Stoner, and my Manscaped man, Nathan.
I am wearing my Manscaped boxers. I'm not afraid to tell you because those things are super comfy. I'm telling you, those things are wonderful. Make sure you head out to manscaped.com. Use that code REF so that way you can get yourself 20%. And while you're looking there, make sure that you also check out this site that's scrolling at the bottom right now. It's our Fisher House donation for Ref the District Season of Giving. We have a campaign going on right now where you can participate, give money to the Fisher House. They provide places to stay for family members of military members and veterans while they seek care. Stoner talked about one that was near and dear to our particular situation when we were up there at Ramstein, Germany, and a young man came back from a war zone with a horrific injury at Launchstool, and his family was flown overseas to be there with him. So he did not have to be alone. That's the kind of things that the Fisher House brings, and you can help support that by going to the Ref the District Season of Giving site. Now, give money of your own goodwill and heart. We've had a lot of money coming in for this, and we appreciate that. But know that we are having a raffle that goes with this. $1 gets you 1 ticket. $5 gets you 6 tickets. So a little bit of extra boost there. 10 is going to get you 15, and 25 doubles it up, giving you 50 tickets there. And what those tickets go to is we're having a raffle. We're giving away 2 sweet tickets and free parking to the game against the Giants, which is going to be December 18th on a Sunday. You get to watch the game with us, tailgate with us, have a great time at that Giants game, and cheer on our team as they try to push to the playoffs. Maybe you don't win the grand prize. Don't worry. We got lots of other prizes that we're raffling away as well. We have 2 jerseys, a D'Angelo Hall signed Redskins jersey, a Charles Leno Burgundy Commanders jersey signed by Charles Leno. We have 2 $100 gift cards to Guy Fieri's restaurant right there in DC. We got a $140 gift card to Pacers Running, where you can get yourself a pair of shoes and go to your free online fitting. They'll take care of you. And then we also have that swag bag from Sky Bar that's going to be a part of that. All that's going to happen The drawing is going to be next week. You have 1 week left to donate. And as I've mentioned, we're getting close there. We're, I think at 685 is what I saw before hopping on today. If we get to $1,000, I might have to sweeten the pot. Might even give something else in there because you guys have done a wonderful job and you've been very supportive of us and this particular season of giving. So much appreciated to everyone who's already donated. Make sure you get out there to the Fisher House site and donate under our name. Every bit of that goes straight to the Fisher House. So much appreciate everybody for doing something on that part.
Quick update, real quick. Our guy Tommy T, $50 just now donation to the Fisher House. We appreciate that, Tommy T. I believe that's Tommy T. Let me see.
That deserves a wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Tommy T. You should get an email, right, from Ref the District with information about your raffle numbers.
Thank you very much.
And we're doing it We're doing it live next Wednesday.
We will
right?
be doing it live
Drawing
next
it right
Wednesday.
here on air.
The ticket counting will stop on the 29th in the evening. And that's just to make sure that we have enough time to make sure everybody gets their tickets. So continue donating afterwards, but the tickets counting is going to stop at 9:00 on the 29th. And then we're going to be doing the live drawing on our show next week for all of those things. If you win one of the other prizes, you're still eligible to win those sweet tickets. So if you win the ticket, however, the $100 gift card to Guy Fieri, you're not going to be able to win the signed jersey, but you still will be eligible to win those sweet tickets and hang out with us directly. So we appreciate everybody, who's already made a donation to that. So thank you. It is a very thankful type of season. Before we get to game predictions, let's say our thanks as we head here into Thanksgiving week. We got 3 games tomorrow. Maryland finally has sports betting, and I've got a lot of free dollars to be spending on those kind of things. I actually did my FanDuel free $100 bet on any quarterback passing for 4 touchdowns tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh, that's not bad. What's the odds on that?
Plus 150. So if I get it, it's $150, but it's
free money anyway.
Free money. So what are you thankful for, Trev?
I'm thankful for my mother, first and foremost. Without her, I wouldn't be here in the position I am in today. Love you, Mom. Thanks for everything you've done. Second, my job, Skybar, the career I've taken, my partners that are involved with that. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have Skybar, yada, 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 all that stuff. And for the 2 guys up here, of course, my new family, my new bros. I know. You kept me up. You brought me on this journey about 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago now. We're almost at 2K subscribers. We talked about that in the chat. That's awesome that we're just 3 average yahoos that come on here and ramble about sports. Half the time we have hilarious outtakes and hot takes, but it doesn't matter. People love it. So I'm thankful for the people who are watching this, subscribing, liking that too. And a bunch of other things, but it's somebody else's turn now. So
Stoner, let's hear it. What are you thankful for?
Oh, and EP, sorry. I got to include EP. The EP, my bad. First, she's before you guys, okay? Yeah.
Okay. But good. You saved yourself there.
Yeah, nice save.
All right.
Yeah, I'm thankful for the 2 of you guys for sure, and the show that's given me personally an outlet for just yapping about sports. And I know my wife is thankful for that because I don't yap as much about sports to her. But I'm certainly super appreciative and thankful. For this year is the first time my wife and I have been together for Thanksgiving in 4 years, I believe. So that's a really good thing and a really big deal. So I'm thankful for that. Thankful for her and all that she's done for our family these last, forever. But we just had our 25th anniversary this year. So I'm extremely thankful for her and all that comes with that. And I'm thankful for our Deshaun Watson hot take way back in January that got like a whole bunch of views.
Yeah, that certainly helped catapult the channel a little bit. I think it got 10K views Good stuff on that one, even if Stoner is still wrong about that. So I'm thankful for EP. She is absolutely amazing. She does a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. She's the one who's been organizing a lot of the Season of Giving stuff. She's the one who went and got the sweet tickets. She's the one who got the soundboard here. She supports me. She is upstairs, like I said, preparing Thanksgiving meal. My family's in town, and she's putting up with all that. So big applause to EP there, and the wonderful things she's doing. I'm thankful for you guys as well. This channel has just been amazing. And as I head to retirement from the Air Force, who knows? Maybe this is going to be the full-time gig. We'll see, because I'm also thankful for those here who support the channel directly. I see some of our friends are out there, like Authentic and the Beard. We normally have, the guys from the Command This podcast. We have a lot of the regulars, Gus Bus, Yam, and the rest who fill our chat. So I'm thankful for you supporting the channel. Thanks very much. And let's continue winning, because I am thankful to be above 500 for the first time this late in the season.
Amen.
For so long. It's bringing back that good energy. And I feel like that you can just feel that. And this is the game where Sean Taylor's going to be recognized. And I feel like there's a lot of emotion there, because last year that didn't quite go as planned. They're going to have, I think, a lot more red carpet stuff. People are talking about the hoodie.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be there with family, and I'm probably going to spend more money than I should.
Yeah.
But it's going to be okay. It should be well worth it in the end. So let's get in some game predictions here before I have to head back upstairs.
The dollar.
Yeah, some dollars.
All right. Taylor Heinicke will throw an interception on Sunday.
Staying away from it.
I'll do you one better, Trev. Taylor Heinicke will throw 2 interceptions.
I will take that dollar, Stoner. I'm not going to take Trev's, but I'll take your dollar on that. I do not think he has 2 interceptions. Now, if you went with 2 turnovers, then I might have.
Which side are you on, Trev?
I'm taking I'm with you. No, I'm with Stoner. He's going to have 2.
Ooh, okay. I'm alone in thinking that Taylor Heinicke continues his keeping the ball away from. He has gotten lucky. I will say he is absolutely gotten lucky. Those balls have definitely been bouncing off of cornerbacks and safeties' hands. But hey, that's why they're not playing offense.
He threw 2 last week. They just dropped him.
Yeah, like I said, that's what he dropped. Yam, Atlanta won't break 20 points. I'm on that one.
I am too.
Okay, I'll put you guys down on that, because I'm going to take the over.
I was about to say, your game score literally has them at 23 points.
23, yeah.
So Nathan and Trev.
This is a game, again, a revenge game from last year. You brought up the J.D. McKissick late spring touchdown.
We won the game, though.
That was a shootout, but these are 2 very, very different teams and how they look.
Here's a good dollar. I bet if I ask nicely right now for people to go and hit that like button, we'll get 10 likes in the next 2 minutes.
I bet you will get. I'll go under that.
You go under 10. If I say very nicely, please hit that like button.
I want them so bad to hit that like button. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, we'll see how many we get. But how about this? Terry over 100 yards from Joseph here.
I don't want to bet against it.
Yeah, I don't want to bet against it either. I will say that you're going to go with it.
I'm going under it.
Under, yeah. I think we're all probably going to hit that under. I don't want to. I just feel like maybe this is like an 85-yard game, not a 112 game, if that makes sense.
We got 10.
I got
$1, Trev.
We appreciate it there. We appreciate it there. Oh yeah, Authentic the Beard hitting it right there. This is a good one. Gibson over 150 yards from scrimmage.
Are you saying that, Nathan?
I'm saying Authentic is saying that. Where are you putting it?
No, I don't think he'll get to 150.
Like 120 something.
127 yards from scrimmage.
I'm going 116 yards from scrimmage.
So you're going to take the under, because I'm putting at 127.
I'm going under that 116.
Okay, Stoner, where are you at?
Man, 127, huh?
That's
That's a really good number. That's all right. I'm gonna go with Nathan on this one.
All right, we'll
And
see
Stoner, because I think he'll have over one. He'll be at between 125 and 150. I think he's gonna have a really good game.
I agree. I think he's going to have a really good game. Defense is going to have a really good game. Do we get 2 takeaways? Sitting and 4-1-4 with Sean says defense with 2 takeaways. Trev, you like that?
Yes. I think we'll get a pick and we'll force a fumble, whether it's a sack fumble or a running back a fumble, and we'll get it.
I say nah.
I'm going to be with Stoner on this one. So now, that being said, I think this is another 4.5 sack game.
Ooh.
At least 4 sacks.
I'm going 2. I don't think we sack him as much as we should.
Trev is against me. Stoner, 4 sacks.
4? You said 4.5, I thought.
Well, I said at least 4. So I'm saying at least 4. 4.5 would be the over under, and I'm going at 4.
No, you got to go 5 for me to take it.
All right. So you're going to take the under?
No, not.
I put it at 4. Trev is against me on this one. Where are you at, Stoner? Are you with me? Or are you with Trev? Or are you going to just abstain?
I'm going to abstain if it's 4. Yeah, I'm abstaining at 4. If you said 4.5, I would go with it.
He did originally.
Basically 5.
Yeah, and then I went with 4. Yep.
All right.
How about this? This is Roger saying 2 picks, 1 from Booby and 1 from Juice. What is the status on St. Juice?
He did not practice today. St. Juice did not practice today.
Yeah, we didn't go over the injury report like we normally do.
He's the only
I called that too, didn't I?
Yeah,
I called that St. Juice wasn't going to practice, but he was going to play. I also called that they're going to say Carson Wentz is not ready when you damn well know he is ready. They're just trying to save his reputation a little bit there.
I don't think that's really what's going on right now.
You don't think he's ready?
Oh no, I think he's ready, but they've literally said this is
not
Taylor's team. No, they said this is Taylor's team.
And he's not even dressing. They've already said it's going to be him and Howell on this Sunday. They're saying he's not physically ready yet.
He was on the side field today too, so he didn't really do that much, but he practiced.
I know, but they've already said it's going to be Heinicke.
Yeah, for Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He might dress for the game after that or after the bye.
He will. You know when the next time he's going to dress?
When Taylor Heinicke.
It's time to put him in to start. That's the next time he's going to dress because it's just going to be, his finger's just not quite right. It's just not quite right. It's just not quite right.
I thought we were done talking QBs.
I am.
And 4 we trust. Remember, Stoner? And 4 we trust. We're just going to keep going that. How about this one from Michael here? 4 field goals for Joey Sly.
No, I'll take the under on that.
I'm going to
take the over.
Well. I'm taking under that too.
We're all taking the under. Anyone want to put a number to it?
I'll put 2.
We're all on 2. How about this? Let's get a Joey Sly one in here. Joey Sly makes one from 45 yards or further.
Oh, that's normal. 45 yard is a very average kick in the NFL. How about this?
But you got to remember how many attempts has he had, Stoner, and we're saying he only gets 2 attempts.
So Nathan says Sly
45 yards or further.
5 or further. Trev said no, right?
No.
I'm with Nathan on this one. How about this? Their kicker has 3 field goals. Koo?
Yes.
Yeah.
I say he has 3.
At least 3. I'm with you because my score is 9 points.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to happen.
All right.
How about this? This is a great little parlay from Joseph. Brian Robinson over 75 yards and 1 touchdown. I'm gonna put this one at 75 yards rushing. Not that we've seen him do a lot of pass catching, but 75 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. I wouldn't take this if I'm putting my free DraftKings $25 to it. I'm not touching this one. 75. I think it's just a touch high. I think he's going to finish in about 65 yards. Again, Antonio Gibson's just the most productive back Washington has, but Brian Robinson's an absolute monster.
How about, I don't think anyone's touching that one. How about Atlanta rushes for at least 130 6 yards.
No,
No, they're not.
no, it's not happening.
It's not happening.
No.
I'm glad I went 136 because I was gonna go higher than that.
You're going to do a little bit of escalator there.
Yeah, I started at 130. That was my
I did
bottom.
90.
So.
How about Dotson getting a touchdown? It's been a while since he's seen the end zone. He hasn't been as productive since coming back with the injury. And a lot of that comes from Taylor honing in on Terry McLaurin.
I'm annoying.
Pay dirt?
No.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't do this one. How about this? He sees 3 targets this game.
Oh, come on.
No. He does not even see 3 targets this game.
What?
See, Trev goes against me. There we go. 3 targets for Jahan Dotson. Where are you at, Stoner?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. He's going to see at least.
How many you have last week?
I will double check
at
here
least 2.
I got $1.
He had 1 catch. He had one.
Yeah,
catch.
one
Now,
catch. I think he had 2 targets because one was maybe through his hands.
Yeah.
That's in 3 targets.
I got
Trev,
$1.
where were you on the Atlanta rushing for 136?
2 targets, by the way.
I said no. They're getting 90. Here's I got $1. It's not for Sunday, but if tomorrow's slates of games, there will be an upset tomorrow during Thanksgiving football. One of the games will be an upset tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Lions over the Bills,
Lions or
Patriots or Giants. Even though the Giants are 7-3, that's an upset because of
Who are the Giants playing?
Cowboys.
Oh, that's right. Duh. So who the Patriots playing?
The Vikings. That's an upset.
And the Lions and the Bills. Okay, you know what? I think all favorites all win.
All right. I think there's an upset tomorrow.
All right. Trev,
Come on, Nathan. Where you at?
Dog.
I do think the Patriots can upset the Vikings, but and I think the Lions keep it closer than the Bills think comfortable. But I'm with Stoner. I think the favorites win all the games.
All right, cool.
How about this? How about the Bills win by double digits?
You're gonna have to go to FanDuel or DraftKings for that.
I'm saying no, Stone. I'm with you. I'm gonna go with you on that, or not. I'm gonna go against you on that. I'll take the bet. They will not win by double digits. They'll win by
less than double digits. Don't give him anything else. Do not give him anything else, Trev.
I'm not. That's why I was like,
Trev is notorious for short changing.
All right, I got another one.
All right.
Cowboys beat the Giants by double digits.
Man, Authentic is supposed to be our guest for that game, for those games, and you're gonna ruin that friendship there.
it's in where? Where's the game? Dallas?
It's always in Dallas on Thanksgiving.
No. Yeah,
Yep,
they
in Dallas and Detroit.
I'm with you, Stoner.
Double digits, Nathan.
I'm staying away from all of the Thanksgiving
Oh,
games.
come on!
I told you, you're going to have to use your DraftKings or FanDuel money for that one. Here's from another one from Joseph. There will be a game-winning field goal in a game tomorrow. I almost took Trev's bet, right? For he loves doing those overtime bets. It was plus 600. FanDuel allows you to do the $100 bet for if you're a new Maryland person.
Yeah, odds
boost. It was plus 600, and I almost did it with my $100 bet that they give me. And then I was like, nah, let me go with one that might actually hit, because I was like, that overtime one's a real.
Well, they had an odds boost of plus 100 that what was it? Oh, that anybody makes a 3 in the Wizards Heat game tonight. I put 100 on that because it's basically just trying to get you, to bet.
I'm so glad you guys are FanDuel people now. I'm so happy.
Trev's like, I no longer have to accept Zelle payments to make.
Just today, Trev. Just today, it unlocked.
Why?
Yep.
No, I mean it just started today.
Oh, good.
Just became unlocked today. Yesterday couldn't do it. Today we could.
Now you can get them.
Today we got it, and you'll probably see some more of that stuff. Of course, if you are going to bet, make sure you bet responsibly.
No, bet irresponsibly. Bet your house. Bet your 401k.
Bet responsibly. Okay. Maybe we'll see if one of these companies wants to partner with us and be sponsored. Of course, we're already sponsored by Pacers Running for Every Run. Skybar. I need a new slogan besides go see Trev down at.
Yeah, I don't have a slogan.
Yeah, you need a
we'll
slogan.
we'll get you one. And of course, man,
Okay,
get that 20% off there with the discount code of REF. We have brought you a great show. Have a great, wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy the football tomorrow. Enjoy the football on Sunday with us, as we'll be providing play-by-play and commentary. And yes, we've heard the chatter. We know we got to get Trev synced up. They're going to work that because it's going to be the two of them.
It's fun when we do that. It's a little bit.
A lot of people don't.
You are alone on that one, Trev. You are alone on that one. And so I will be at the game. We'll bring you some good shorts and some good content from the game. But until next time,
eat a whole bunch of food.
Yes, please.
Be a fan.